G'day everyone and welcome to this episode. Today we're going to have a look at one of the easiest cars to get into RC building if you're interested in doing that, and that's the Tamiya Grasshopper. Okay, so this is going to be a little test, and to make this test work I'm going to need your help, and for that I'm going to need you to either subscribe or like this video. And at the end of the week, this is Saturday it's been recorded on, so next weekend I'll come back with the results and let you know what's going to happen from here on in. Okay, so getting into the Grasshopper. This has been around for absolutely ages. I think it was around 1984, something like that, that the Grasshopper came out. So way back, we're talking, well, I think they're up to the 40th anniversary, so yeah, it would have been 84. Very simple design. That makes it A, easy to build, and B, easy to maintain. So we're going to get into this box, have a look what you get inside, have a look what else you'll need to complete this kit, and then in a future video we'll go over the build process so you know how to build a Tamiya Grasshopper too. Alright, so before we get into the box, what else are you going to need to complete this kit? Well, depending on what country you get this in and where it's come from, you may or may not need an electronic speed controller of your own. A lot of Tamiyas used to come with them, but now you'll have to get your own one in most kits. You also need a radio system, something basic like a Fly Sky, which is off a HSP, but you can pick up the same sort of unit with Fly Sky branding for very cheap these days. You also need a battery and charger, and you'll need some sort of servo. So they're all the things you're going to need just to get this kit running. You'll also need some basic tools. Most of it's included, like the box wrench and Allen key, but you will need a screwdriver. And Tamiya uses, I think it's called JIS. It's a standard Japanese screw head thing. It's very similar to Phillips head. And most hardware stores will have something that'll fit this totally fine. You may have something, but if you use a regular Phillips head, you may find that screws keep on like skipping when you're trying to do it up. So just be warned that if you can get a proper JIS screwdriver, it's much better off. All right, so in this kit, okay, so there's how your kit will come. In this bag, you get the body and the chassis both in there. Now, this body does come in white, so that's why this is one of the easiest kits, because all you have to do is put stickers on if you really want to just do that. The other thing is, you can paint it. Sometimes there is imperfections in molds. You can see, especially on lighter colors, you'll be able to see maybe some mold markings or stuff like that. So to get an absolutely perfect job, it is best to paint these. But you don't have to. You can just put on the stickers and away you go. As I said, chassis is in there as well. This bag, got our tyres. Got these lovely sand paddles for the rear, which is one reason I wanted to get these. I do have a Hornet, and I've got a new Hornet that I'm going to build for a Shelf Queen. But I've only ever had one Grasshopper, and that was a long time ago, and I never really got to run these tyres where they're meant to be on the sand. So that's what I'm going to be doing with this one in one of the videos, that's for sure, one of the running videos. And the front are like sort of like an old airplane tyre. But I love the look of these classic Tamiya tyres. They really sell the car. Okay, next bag here has your suspension arms for the front, some of the shock parts, as well as your servo saver. Next bag has Nerf bars, battery tray, and the driver figure, which once again, you can just put this in as is, but they always look a lot better if you put some paint on it. Next, the wheels. Now I'll be going over on a step on this, just on how to put the wheels on. Obviously, I had one of these way back in the mid-80s when they came out at secondhand Tamiya Hornet was my first car, and I learnt back then. how to get these on, because it is not easy if you don't know what you're doing. So stay tuned for that episode. And the last of the big bags here is the rear gearbox. As I said, this is one of the most simple cars you can get. Solid axle, there's no suspension hanging off, no arms, uprights to build. It's just one solid piece. Reliable, strong, and efficient. So it doesn't handle the greatest, but it's all those other things. Okay, also get the small parts box here. And bits out one by one. So first up, classic Tamiya bumper. Had these on many cars when I first started out. Gear set. Nice solid gears. Oh yeah, there's the other one. So I'm honest, I can. Where's the spur gear? That's that. There's your spur gear in this bag with the springs, tie rod ends, and Tamiya's grease. Next we have bag D. So these you'll refer to in the instruction booklets. Once again, we'll go through all what that means when we go through the instructions, as these all do relate to things, and it makes the kit building much easier. You normally will get a metal path bag in most Tamiya kits. This one's got the box wrench, it's got the rear axles, the steering rods, and some double-sided tape. The original 380 motor. So I'm going to run it at first with this, and then depending on how I feel, because to be honest, when I had the one years ago, I was very surprised how fast actually these motors do go. They're not that much slower than 540. And we've got bag A in there, lots of little screws. I'd say it's a lot for the wheels, as you do have to assemble them. And bag B, which has a lot of the, I'd say, screws for the chassis. There's your pin for the gearbox that holds everything, that holds the spur gear on. And last but not least, for me, is bushings. Now, if you're just going to build this and maybe run it once or twice, or it's just going to be a shelf queen, yeah, use them, it's fine. Like they hold the shafts in the spot, they work, they will run. If you're going to actually run the car often and do it regularly, best to replace these at the start with ball bearings, because ball bearings are cheap these days. Ball bearings were expensive back in the 80s. Back in the 80s, we were paying like $5-6 for a single ball bearing back then. These days, I think I picked up a whole set for this like around $20, just over $20, $25, something like that. So it doesn't cost much to put bearings in it. Okay, that's it for that box. There is also antenna tube. If anyone's running the old radios, use an antenna wire. And then, of course, Tamiya's instructions. These are some of the best instructions in the business, always have been. And it's very simple. It'll take you through the whole process of what you got to do, every step. And if you just follow it, there's a section at the side which tells you and shows you in actual size what parts you need, and then it also tells you where to find it. So I didn't bring my glasses. I think I'd need them. So say this washer here, it says BA7. Okay, well, what does that mean? That means that if you go to bag A, which is what the BA stands for, it'll be in there, and I can see a bunch of washers. So whatever it says, the B just stands for bag, and the second one is what bag number or letter it is. So it's bag A, BA, bag D, which will be BD, and so on and so forth. So as I said, if you follow along with what the instructions say, it's actually a very simple process. But as I said, I will go through it. So just to run anyone through that wants to see the build process, I know build videos are fairly popular. I like watching them myself. So I'm happy to share, my knowledge and tips on as I go through building this. And the last thing that's in here, there's some general warning papers that you get in every Tamiya kit. They just tell you what you can and can't do, sort of thing. I know I read through this, when in the 80s when I got my first new car, sort of thing, was amazed by everything RC and just wanted to learn everything, and realised a lot of stuff in there is like, this doesn't relate to me, or if I followed every instruction on here, I'd never be able to run the car. So it's interesting read. And I said, last is the instructions. Last thing up is the stickers. So nice bright Tamiya style. Just looking at this, I'm pretty sure these are pre-cut. I can see a thin line around. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera. I'll get them out just to double check. Yep, they are pre-cut. So it's going to make your life even easier. You don't have to worry. In the old days, these were not pre-cut. You had to chop around with scissors and get it as close to the line as possible without going over the line, without leaving too much clear. It was a whole process, but pre-cut can't get easier than that. Okay, so that's the unboxing video for the Tamiya Grasshopper done. As I said, hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see the build video for this, and then of course I will be going and giving this a run in the habit I think it should be run, which you might think, grass? Nah, I'm going to take this to the beach, see if those sand paddles are real workout. So like and subscribe for that, and I'll see you in the next video. Always amazes me how Tamiya managed to pack everything in like they do. It really does. I've tried repacking a box on another car for a video, and you think I could get everything back in the box? Not a chance. These are nice and easy. There's not many parts.